What is fibular hemimelia? When you put your shoes on each day, most of us do not think of what that you would do without a foot.
I don't know.
But for many people with a disability, this task can be anything but simple. For some people with a disability, they can't even accomplish this without a prosthetic device. So what is fibular hemimelia? It's the shortening of a fibula at birth, or the complete lack of the fibula bone in one of your legs, and the cause of this disability is unclear. Many people believe, and doctors believe, that the disability is inherited. Many other people believe that it's not inherited, and believe it or not, my daughter has this disability, and it's not inherited through my family. My daughter has fibular hemimelia, and there's no known number of how many people have this disability, as for some people never even know that there is an issue until they break something later in life and have to have x-rays to prove that they are missing any kind of bones. July 15th, 2008 changed my life forever. Mine and my husband's and my family's. My daughter Savannah was born that day. When she arrived, I asked the doctor what was wrong because she looked like she had two left feet. She had her right foot looked like it was going to the left, or too far to the right, I'm sorry, I apologize. Too far to the right. And I asked the doctor, what's wrong with her? The doctor started flicking her foot and said, nothing's wrong with her. It's just blue because she was laying on it before she came out. And then the doctor looked at her foot and said, And I looked down and saw that my daughter was missing two right toes on her right foot. I said, what's wrong with her? Is she going to be okay? The doctor said, yes, she's going to be okay. Well, I had made plans to be at the hospital with my daughter being born. We knew she was going to be born on a specific day because she was going to be induced. We have family from out of town, so we planned that around my family being out of town, plus we had a 2-year-old at the time that my husband was going to stay home and watch my son, and after I had my daughter, then he was going to come up and bring my son up to see his little sister. That didn't work out too well. They rushed my daughter off and started doing all kinds of research and x-rays on her, and then brought her back to me about an hour and a half later. I called my husband on the phone and I was speechless. I had no idea what to say. I was shocked and I was numb at the same time, because all of the ultrasounds from the first 9 months of me being pregnant with her proved that she was completely healthy. She had all of her bones and all of her toes, fingers and feet. And so I was completely shocked. So, behind this, we did all kinds of research after my husband finally talked to the doctor and said, what's going on? And the doctor said, she's completely fine. You're just going to have to see a specialist, but she's completely healthy. She's passed all of her baby exams, her hearing. She can definitely see. She doesn't have any other disability. And so we went ahead and started doing that. We did months and months of research. finding out that after going to many different specialists that my daughter had a condition called Fibular Hemimelia. It's hard to pronounce for some people, but once you have a baby born with this and you do all of the research and go to all of these different places to do the exams and testing, that's exactly what they told us. The cost is a very expensive cost. We had two decisions. We could have my daughter do this called bone lengthening in her foot, or we could have her right foot articulated. After doing a lot of our research, we found out that a lot of children who are born with this, their parents are really upset, and instead of doing the right foot articulation or the left foot articulation, they decide to do the bone lengthening. Bone lengthening is very hard on both the child and the parent. They are in constant pain all of the time. Every time they grow, they have to have their bone broke, and it starts lengthening because of the calcium that builds up on the bottom of their other bone that's there. Some babies that are born with this, nobody even knows that they're missing their fibula bone because their feet look completely fine. This is why there is no known number for how many children have this disability. Some parents decide on themselves that it's completely fine and they're not going to do anything with their child, which is fine, but that's up to the parents, but it does make it harder in life for the child. As you see behind me, the many different feet that my daughter has had to have since July 17th of 2009, just 2 days after her first birthday. We went to Shriners Hospital in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania after doing all of our research. And they were the ones who told us and promised us this is the best way to go. I have met many other parents who have children with this disability. Some of those that have chosen the fibula or bone lengthening say that it's very tough on them and it's really tough on the child. The child misses a lot of school because it is so painful. It's so painful on the child and it's so painful on the parent. I couldn't imagine in my life seeing my daughter go through so much pain that some of these other children and parents allow their children to go through just to try to correct this. Since my daughter was born without the two toes, we decided that this was the best thing for her. After doing all the research, like I said, we started getting her new foot within a matter of a month and a half afterwards. She is completely healthy. She's a growing, strong girl. She will take her foot off and say, I will stick it up your you-know-what if any child wants to argue with her, or if we decide that she has to pick up clothes or something. She wants to argue with us and says she'll stick her foot up you-know-what, because she literally could. Like I said, if you see behind me, these are her first pair of shoes. She was so ecstatic to be able to put a new pair of shoes on. Because without the two toes, you really can't put a normal foot into a shoe like this unless it's a normal foot. It would have to be a normal foot to wear something like this. When she came home from Shriners, This is what they have put on her. A cast. After she had the right foot articulated. This was on for just a couple of weeks. It actually fell off by itself. And my oldest was horrified in the middle of the kitchen. But just a couple weeks later, this was my daughter's first foot. My daughter's second foot. My daughter's third foot. And it goes on and on. My daughter will be 15. I'm sorry, I apologize. My daughter will be 7 on the 15th, which is in 2 days. I have heard from many different parents how painful it is to make this decision on your own. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of the 2 different choices that you have. Depending on your child's disability with the Fibular Hemimelia, this may be the best way that you can go. Your child will not miss any school. Your child will be completely healthy. They learn how to put on and take off their foot by themselves. And it's just amazing about how much we had to go through and how much she still has to go through until she's a grown adult and she gets an actual foot that just is hers forever. Costs are very high. The cost for the surgery itself, if you want to do the bone lengthening, runs between $50,000 and up. If you have insurance, it will be a lot cheaper. If not, then have no fret. Shriners Hospital in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, helped us make our decision with our daughter. And the cost of that, of her getting a new foot, is literally about $95,000 per foot. But it's definitely worth it. It's been really tough on the parents themselves. I can't say we didn't have difficult times ourselves. You have one parent blaming the other. What did you do while you were pregnant? What did you not do while you were pregnant? But this is so true, because I once read by another child's mother that parenting connection is the thing. It really is. You can't be blaming each other for this disability that's still left unknown, with no absolute numbers of how many people are literally born with this disability. You have to stay strong. As you can tell, it can be really difficult to go through something like this with a child as well. The one thing that helped us get through this hard time in our life was reading and hearing so many other people's stories. I have focused on 2 different choices as a parent has if they have a child with fibular hemimelia. Our choice was to have her right foot articulated, which means removed. I can't thank Shriners Hospital for Children in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania enough. Dr. Allberger is the one who performed my daughter's surgery. He's wonderful. He'll put you up in a hotel, or he will also refer you to Ronald McDonald House, which is very close. Ronald McDonald House literally costs only $15 per night for your family. And there are Shriners out there who will help raise money for your child and help raise money for your expenses. I have shared my story. As another parent also once said, Why was I so inclined to blame myself? What is so important is that our daughter is happy and healthy. She's not in pain. And she's going on 7 years next week. And we get through this together as a family. I have to thank the Duke Orthopedics. I have to thank Tuckahoe Orthopedics. I have to thank Shriners Hospital for Children in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And also www.acpocida.org/library/1987_04_073.asp for all of my research. There's a lot out there on this. Just have faith and be strong. Thank you.